Hello everybody, Ethan here. In the Warhammer 40k universe, there are very few things more iconic than the Dreadnaughts as Space Marine players. These are the things that brought me into the game, and they're probably one of my favorite model kits to collect. So today, I'm going to go over the ones that are currently available from Games Workshop. You might be asking yourself why I'm not talking about others. That's strictly because I want to talk about things people can still buy officially. I'm leaving out the Custodes and any of the Traitor Legion Dreadnaughts and the other Dreadnought-like things, just because with the Custodes I don't know much about them. With Chaos, I don't know much about them. I know about Hellbrutes a little bit, but besides that, not that much. And the other ones I just might want to talk about in a later video. But we're going to start out with the Horus Heresy ones, work our way through to the newer ones. The first one we're talking about is the Contemptor Dreadnought. It was perhaps the most advanced Dreadnought engine in the arsenal of the Great Crusade. It uses traditional technologies of arcane cybernetic lore. A powerful automatic reactor fuels the Dreadnought's impressive speed and strength, while also supplying the defensive energy fields that further increase its battlefield durability. Yeah, this thing has a lot of weapons. Anybody who has put together this model knows it comes with a few, and there's a bunch of kits you can get to just attach to it. It can serve as anything from like a mobile heavy weapons platform, an assault powerhouse, or a versatile line breaker. It had its place within every single legion. There's not really much to say about it. It was probably the good all around. This is kind of like the base platform going forward. With the second being the Leviathan Dreadnought, which honestly this thing is a walking take. You know, the Red Scorpions, their chapter master got interred in one of these and is still serving as like an advisor for them. But these heavily armed and impressive armored, the Leviathan Siege Dread is an alternate development of the highly successful Contemptor design. These rare and mighty engines are prized by Astartes commanders, recognized as savagely powerful siege and hunter-killer units that can crush any opposition within a volley of devastating firepower. They come at extreme cost though, as the Leviathan systems place a onerous and ultimately lethal strain upon its occupant. The in-tune incumbent burning brightly but only briefly in their second light. These things are awesome. They have really good weapons, but like it says, woefully ineffective. These things are strong on the tabletop. I hate that we can't play these in 40k anymore. Competitively, you can play them casually, but they're not officially supported with like the app and stuff like that. I feel like they're missing opportunity and probably one of the best Dreadnought platforms ever, or probably second best, because in my opinion, the best is the Dreadnaught. It is a walking heavy weapons platform designed to combine superior firepower with the flexibility and durability of a Dreadnought chassis. These highly resource intensive to produce and maintain though, and its undoubtedly survivability and killing power ensures that Dreadnaught is in high demand by traitor and loyalist legions. But you know, it's just one of those things. I think this kind of fell out because, okay, you're gonna notice a theme that all Dreadnoughts kind of go in threes. There is usually a, you know, long range, a base, and a like more siege based one. With these ones, the base is the Contemptor, the siege based one is Leviathan, the like run up and hit stuff kind, and then the long range is the Dreadnaught. And just hands down, the Dreadnaught is my favorite. It was the first Dreadnought I ever got shown, and I'm actually looking at the one that I just painted right now, and I adore these things. This is the one that I really hate we can't play in 40k anymore, because they just released the kit before they announced the you know, changes and stuff. Like, they just announced that it was coming to plastic. It used to be a resin only. Most of the Horus Heresy ones used to be resin only, and they took a lot of them away once it became plastic. I don't know why. I think it's just to, you know, kind of move the meta from what it was to what it is now. But with that, let's go to the more iconic ones from 40k, and I cannot think of one more iconic than the Venerable Dreadnought. It stands 3 times the height of a man. This towering war machine bear powerful weapons and are lethal at range and in close assault. The chapter's Dreadnaughts are treasured relics, only awoken in great need. In case inside every Dreadnought lies a mighty Space Marine hero who's wounded to the point of they need to essentially be put on life control. And they will often be like mentors on top of just some of the best weapons. And the Venerable platform is the base for technically 2, but there's a bunch of different versions of this. So there's the Librarian Dreadnought, which is a Blood Angels Librarian interred inside one. And these are Blood Angels specific, and they are amazing. They're a beautiful kit. I love looking at these things. They're a little bit aged. I'm kind of hoping that the Redemptor platform, I hope that they get a kind of move over to just to like bring it into the next edition. It'd be kind of nice to see it for other chapters, but I know the Blood Angels, they need a very specific kind of like play style and stuff for them. But the Brutalis kind of shares a lot in common with the Furioso Dreadnought, which is another Blood Angels one, which is usually occupied by either a horribly wounded Blood Angel, a librarian at times that don't get interred in librarian dreadnoughts, or somebody who's succumbed to the Black Rage, which turns them into the Death Company Dreadnought, which is just a walking ball of destruction. These things are still good. I went up against one of these a few weeks back, and it did not feel good. Because, okay, in the Pride Nexus format, the Blood Angels are really good, and it's nice to see them finally getting some love, but oh man, all that melee hurts. Speaking of melee, let's talk about the Space Wolves ones for a minute. Their Venerable Dreadnought is just metal as all get out looking. It's got runes all over it, and a lot of them have been interred within these since the time of Russ. I know that Bjorn the Fellhand, which I'll get to here in a moment, is interred inside of one of these that's custom made. But these warriors are like thousands of years old, and their wisdom is highly sought after. And they're also the Allfather's Vengeance made manifest. I don't know much about Space Wolves. I'm not a big Space Wolves player, but Space Wolves were also like the first army I laid my eyes on at metagames here in town. So, you know, take it or leave it. The Space Wolves Venerable is really good. Murder Fang, which is also in the same one, is just a walking ball of destruction, kind of like the Death Company one is. It was found roaming the hell world of Omnicide, and it's clearly a Dreadnought, but nobody knows who exactly is in it. It is brought out at times of strife, and it wrecks the enemy, and it's really good. And the kit for that one, surprisingly enough, also builds Bjorn the Fellhand, which I'm going to do his own video because I cannot serve him justice in a timely manner. But he is the oldest Dreadnought in the Imperium. He served with Leman Russ himself. This man is ancient, and he's the spiritual and moral compass of the entire chapter. He is a custom-built Dreadnought as well, and somebody in his position needs a custom-built Dreadnought because it was almost spitting on them if they have to occupy the same space at this level of prestige. But he is really good. I've never gone up against him, but I can just tell looking at him that he would be a pain to go up against. And now finally the ones most people would be familiar with at this point, the Redemptor chassis. Now the base Redemptor chassis is just taller, broader, more cunningly wrought than the other Dreadnoughts in traditional design. They're big. I think the Redemptor is the biggest Dreadnought at this point in time anyway. And it's probably, okay, this is the first Dreadnought that I ever bought because it's the only one that I could find new at metagames. So I bought this. It's up there for one of my favorites. The plasma is really good. The Icarus rocket cannon on top is really good. I don't play it for the most part just because I like tanks. I like tanks a lot. So having this take up the points, you know, it's really good. It's just I feel like it's also been outclassed by the variants of it, which one of the newer ones is the Brutalis Dreadnought. It's kind of like the Furioso Dreadnought. It's a melee Melta anti-air unit, which, okay, so this unit is just a beast. I have two of these, and they're really good in like a melee focused list with, you know, chaplains, assault intercessors, jump pack intercessors, stuff like that. And yeah, it's pretty much you take a Furioso and make it like chapter generic to where anybody can play it. I've seen them in Black Templars to a large amount of success. I've seen them in Blood Angels a lot. I run them in Ultramarines, and the Talons are just insane. The fact that it has Melta and anti-air plus 4, I believe, on it is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. And the newest Dreadnought of all of them is the Ballistus Dreadnought. These things, if you've ever gone up against them, they are a delight. They can melt you off the board pretty fast at range. They're just a walking heavy weapons platform. They are the Redemptor chassis Daradio, or the Venerable Dreadnought with the heavy weapons on it. It can hit you across the board and just annihilate. I think that this one is probably the best, barring like what detachment you're going with. Ironstorm, it's amazing. Gladius and Firestorm are really good. Ironstorm, I think, is the one I said the first time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is obviously the best one for units like this, but it, you know, it finds its place in just about anything, and I think it comes in at like 190 points, so it doesn't really take up that much. And for a level firepower you're getting, it is really good. But yeah, that is just the ones that are available right now to buy. Obviously, there are other patterns. I know there's a Saturnine pattern Dreadnought that they're talking about coming out with Horus Heresy with one of those new boxes. So, you know, I'm going to make it its own separate video, because the Saturine armor, period, is probably one of the more, like, insane, iconic looking ones from 40k. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. This is, I love Dreadnaughts, and if I got kind of rambly towards the end, I do apologize, but I love my big stompy robots. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.